Hey, hi everybody. It's Doug and Greg Svensson from Viking
Hey,
Capital Investments.
yay.
They said this stuff was easy.
It's not.
Anyway, we're Viking Capital Investments. For people that are new, we're a company that we buy mortgage notes from investment firms. We buy them from hedge funds and we buy them from banks. First lien notes across the United States, non-performing. And we have been buying distressed assets since 2001. And for many years, we've been doing rehabs and rentals. And that's pretty much what this is all about tonight. We buy notes from banks and hedge funds again at major discounts. And our goal is to help the mortgage holders stay in their homes. VCI works with investors with 401ks and self-directed IRAs throughout the United States. We help the investor get a better rate of return on their investment money. Our goal is to help investors realize that they can be the bank, not a landlord, and having to deal with, of course, toilets and tenants. That's a big part of this tonight as well. We're going to go into why it's better to be the bank instead of a landlord. We want to educate the investors on a better way of investing, which is notes, of course, and sharing deals we have done and we are currently working on today. And we have a lot of investors that we do partnering with, and we show them a greater return again with their IRAs and 401k plans. What is the difference between a rental property and a mortgage note? This is my favorite part because we've had plenty of rentals. When you buy a home and fix it up for rent, you own the property. When you buy a mortgage note, you own the paper. When you buy the property, you will be responsible for all taxes. And when you buy the note, the mortgage holder, the paper holder, pays the taxes. Not the paper holder, but the mortgagee pays the taxes. When you buy and hold, you are responsible for all repairs. When you buy a note, the mortgage holder is responsible for all the repairs. When you buy and fix up for rent, you will need property insurance. When you buy the note, the mortgage holder pays for their insurance and on the property. Greg, anything to add on that?
Just on that insurance that you always want to make sure they have it, and so you are named on their binder as lost payee, which is kind of would make sense. But sometimes when we take the notes in, we don't know if it's insurance on this, so that's the first thing we do is get fire insurance on the property.
And we're going to get in this, but this makes so much sense when you have it down on paper like this, and you can see why it's better to be a note holder and have not have to deal with all the headaches that are going to come your way in the future. When VCI buys a non-performing note, we have three exit strategies. Again, we modify the loan to help the borrower stay in their homes. Deed in lieu, where they sign over the paperwork to us, and that gets the property in our hands. And the last but not least is a foreclosure. They're non-responsive. We go in there and we start the foreclosure process. A lot of you have been on a lot of the other webinars we've done before. Each state's different. Some are longer and some are shorter. New York probably the longest at 2 to 3 years, and Texas probably being the short within 30 to 45 days.
And by the way, folks, typically those three options are split up about a third each. So a third of the time will be one, third of the time will be the second, third of the time will be foreclosure.
Yeah, so 33, 33, 33 gets you 100%. So that basically is what it is. But there's a lot of different options in that besides just being having a rental. When investors buy a rental property, many things happen. You will do a background check and hope your new renter will take care of your home.
They never do.
If they're good tenants, you will wonder how long will they stay.
They never do.
If they are bad renters, the house is sure to be trashed.
They always do.
When a renter leaves, you will have some rehab And again, how long will it be vacant and how long will that take?
About 5 months, and it'll cost $100,000 to fix it.
Usually, anytime you have a rehab, Greg's being funny, facetious, whatever you want to call it, but usually when somebody leaves, you're looking at, and I know from experience, you're looking at least 3,000 to 4,000 carpet and paint, and cleanup and things like that. It's always at least $3,000.
And it's always at least a couple of months. It is a complete pain in the you-know-what.
So this is Marydale Road in Baltimore. We've looked at this before, but I just wanted to bring up this as showing you what we're talking about. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,152 square foot. Principal and interest on this is $754. The owe $79,000. You have to pay, this is the biggest part, you have to pay a servicing fee to your servicer to service the note each month. It's $35. And if you take off the $35 from the $754, you're actually at $719 times 12 equals $8,628 per year. And you divide that by the purchase price of $79,000, your return on investment is 11%. And you don't have toilets and tenants. You have a paycheck coming in every month.
Another thing, Doug, real quick, is if that was a rental, and let's say you want to do hands-off and ran it through property management, they charge you 10%. So $75 of the $754 would be property management fee.
Yep, and that he is segueing into our next one. This one we actually are getting the purchase price at about $45,000 to $46,000. So this one is sub. It's not a not performing one; it's a sub-performing. So this one, if we get it performing all over again, our ROI on this should be over 20%. And we had the realtors take a look at it, and this one's worth $80,000 to $90,000. So here's the segue my brother was talking about. This is Stilling Drive in McHenry. This is a rental we had, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, 1140, and the purchase on this was about $95,000 plus $10,000 in rehab. Owed about $105,000. Taxes are $3,900 a year. So you take the rents, which were $1,225, and you take the taxes and the insurance with that, it is now coming down to $850 a month in your rental. I'm sorry, yeah, the insurance is the next. You take the $50 out of that too. Now, another thing you have to remember is that I don't care what year it is, each year you're supposed to take a vacancy of at least 10% off of that because you never know. Also repairs, that's another 10% that you got to take off. Now, with that being said, your rate of return for that rental property, and if you have rentals out there, I want you to do exactly what Greg and I are showing you to do right now. You're at a 6.9% ROI each year. And you know what Greg just talked about? I didn't even put in property management. Down there is 10% with a question mark. So if you put that 10% in with that, you're going to be under 6% on your rental unit right there. So with all your hard work, and if you want to be happy with 6 to 7%, God bless you, right, Greg?
Bad deal. Bad deal. That's why we got out of that deal.
Here's one we have at Edwards Avenue in Carpentersville. We are looking to purchase this one. I just put this one in there because it showed some, if it was a rental, it's 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, 1,200 square feet. Principal and interest on this, $652 a month. They owe $90,000. And if you do your return on investment on this, taxes are $4,500. The ROI on this, on the purchase price, would be about 17%. But what we're doing on this, and that's if you get the modify and you bring them back, the rent's being about $1,250 a month. But what we're going to do is purchase it at $45,000 to $46,000, and then we're going to put $40,000 into it as a rehab. The worth on this property is $130,000 to $140,000. So we should be able to take about $40,000 out of this. We are absolutely, definitely looking for a funding partner on this. So if you're interested, our information will be at the end of this webinar.
It's nice to know that your fallback position, if something happened, I'm not sure what, but something happens and you had to go back to a P&I payment, your ROI is still 17%. Now, it'd be less because of the rehab you put in, but your rents would go up or your mortgage would go up. So it's all relative. Bottom line is you'd keep a healthy, safe return, and you wouldn't lose any money on it.
We have some performing notes that are on here. Greg and I, we always look to purchase non-performing notes because we get them at a deeper discount. And what we try to do at that point, as you saw earlier slides, is try to get the person reperforming again. Normally, well, here's a great example. The principal and interest on this is $652, and the rents in the area are $1,250. Now, for some reason, these people are not paying, and they're making it tough. This picture was just taken a couple weeks ago. There's 3 cars in the garage, the driveway, but it's been taken to foreclosure, and the evictions are any day now. This was another one of our rentals, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, 1,800 square feet. It did have a basement, so the square footage is not exactly what it should be, but I know realtors don't include that with the square footage. Okay, the purchase was 80 plus 15 on the rehab. It's about 90. Well, it is 95,000 that's owed on it. So if you're into it at 95, your taxes that you pay every year are $3,900. That's you paying that. You bought the rental. The rents in the area are $1,300, and the taxes plus the insurance bring it down to $915 a month. The insurance on this one happened to be $60. Again, your vacancy, 10%, and your repairs, you got to take those into consideration. You got an AC unit go, you're looking at what, Greg? You've been grabbing some AC units.
$4 grand, 4,500.
And then what's the cheapest furnace out there, Greg?
Cheapest furnace? Well, I mean, you get a cheap junk one for $2,500.
Well, 1,000 square foot house.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah.
what's for 1,000? 30,000 for a 1,000 square foot house?
Yeah, you can get secondhand scratch and dents for a little less, but yeah, you're right there.
Now, these numbers we're looking at, let's say you have no vacancies, but you lose a furnace, there goes your $3 grand right there. Again, you got an 8.2% ROI. Hey, you guys are showing me it's getting a little bit better. Again, you know what we didn't put down? Property management. Are you managing it yourself, or is it out of state and somebody else is managing it? So that's why it's not included. But if you got somebody out of state and you're paying 10%, well, there you go. It goes down quite a bit.
One question you guys may be thinking, say, well, why don't you guys just raise your rents? Well, the problem is the area won't bear higher rents. And since the crash in 07 and 08, property values went down, and everywhere else in the country, rents went up, but not in this particular area. It was a bad situation.
Well,
So-
the rents in Illinois are going up. Our rents are pretty high compared to most places, but the rents in each area are going to be different, and that's the norm. And your realtors are going to know that. They're going to know what your rents are. So, I mean, if anybody wants to check my numbers on this, you'd be more than welcome to check them. They're spot on. This is one that Greg and I just took down a few months ago. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, but I actually put the rental information in there too because I thought it was important. 1,400 square foot townhouse. The principal and interest on this one was $1,050, so over $1,000 a month. They owed $130,000 on it. I mean, they're right there about being underwater and not underwater, break even, so to speak. Taxes are $1,200, and the rents in the area $1,300, pretty close to the single family home we just looked at. The purchase on this one was $60,000 plus $25,000 for the rehab. And you're looking at $85,000 it's going to cost us all day when we're finished with it. Usually townhouses are, well, they're smaller and they're usually more condensed and it's easier to rehab them than it does a house. The worth again on this is 125 to 130K, so they're underwater by 130. And if we did not have to put the 25 grand into it, we would be into it for 60,000. And there we go. Our ROI, return on investment, at 60,000 would have been over 20% a year. But again, it's going to be a foreclosure, so we're going to go in there and we're going to rehab it and then put it on the multiple listing and get retail for it. This is another one that Greg and I have in our portfolio. So if there's anybody watching and they're interested in this note deal, feel free to give me an email or a call at the end of this. I don't know, 75%, they're not that great. And when they leave, the thing I hated the most was when they say, I don't have a pet, and then you go knocking on their door a couple months later because they're late, and they got 2 dogs and a couple cats, a bird, iguana. Shall I go on? But anyway,
Thanks.
our whole point is to get it across to people that you can have a note, and the thing that you're basically paying for every month is a servicing fee. You have to do that. It's against the law for you to service these notes yourself. So that is the difference between notes and having a rental property. We do have some notes that are performing, but they're more expensive. That's why we try and get the less expensive ones with the non-performing. That's why you see a bigger discount, because we're putting a hell of a lot more work into it.
Language.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so anyways, bottom line, my last thoughts are just simply that notes, there's work in notes, which Doug and I do the work for the investor and for ourselves, but it's more work that's tangible and long lasting, whereas these rents, you see your asset just getting destroyed all the time, even by people who try to take care of it. Like Doug says, they'll bring a pet in. Once a pet's in the place, if you've ever had a rental, you know it's a nightmare. So notes, you don't have to deal with any of that. No calls in the middle of the night. You just collect your check and let the landlords do their thing and get called by the tenants. Their AC is out, their water heater's out, this is out. They can have it. We're done.
Yeah, it's like mailbox money, but you don't have to deal with any of the hardship of it. And again, we've done it since 2001. We've been buying distressed assets, and it's just amazing when you get to know something of this nature, this kind of a power to be the bank. That's actually what it is. You own the note. So they have to pay for the taxes. They have to pay for anything that goes wrong with the property. You're just collecting the money. You're the bank. You are literally the bank, but you don't have one over in the corner of Main Street. So anyway, that's it for tonight, short and simple. I'm Doug, and that's Greg, and we're Viking Capital Investments, LLC.com.
I'm wearing my invisible outfit. So anyways.
Yeah, his screen wasn't coming up this evening. You may have heard us earlier. It'd be probably easier at Doug at Viking Capital Investments, LLC.com. And my number, or our 800 number is 855-508-4546. You can connect with Greg and I, Greg and Doug Svensson on LinkedIn. We have our own LinkedIn pages, and you can also connect with us on Facebook. And we have the Illinois Non-Performing Note Meetup group. And you can find a lot of our stuff on YouTube. You can see a lot of the rehabs we've done and some of the other webinars we've had. And am I missing anything, Greg? I think I got it.
I think that's it. That's it.
That's good.
Good.
Next time
you made lemonades. Way to go.
Yeah. Next time we'll figure out how to get Greg on there and finally have one of these webinars work out the way they're supposed to. All right. So for Greg and I, we're signing off. I hope everybody has a good evening, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Adios.
Bye-bye.